Have you ever walked into a room and something inside you screamed to leave? Not a thought, not a reason, something older than reason. Or maybe you have a fear, a deep, paralyzing fear of something that has never once hurt you. We tell ourselves it's instinct, a gut feeling, nothing more. But what if it's not a feeling? What if it's a recording? A memory burned into your cells by someone who died before you were ever born. Someone whose blood is still circulating inside you right now. For decades, the idea that DNA carries memories was dismissed as fantasy. But in the last 6 months, late 2025, early 2026, the scientific community has published findings that should keep you up tonight. Your body may be a biological hard drive, and someone else's nightmares are still on the disk. Before we go any deeper, I need you to do something. Stop. Close your eyes for a second. Think about the one fear in your life that makes zero sense. Maybe you're terrified of deep water, but you've never come close to drowning. Maybe the sound of a raised voice makes your heart stop, even though no one in your house ever yelled. You found it, didn't you? Good. Hold on to that fear, because by the end of this, you may realize it was never yours to begin with. It was inherited. To understand what's happening, you need to know the difference between your genetic hardware and your epigenetic software. Your DNA is the hardware, the raw code that determines 2 eyes, 10 fingers, brown hair. But sitting on top of that DNA are chemical switches. Scientists call this the epigenome. Epi means above. These are invisible instructions layered above your genes. They're called methylation tags. Think of your DNA as a vast, dark library. The books are your genes. But these methylation tags, they're notes scrawled in the margins. Some say, open this. Others say, never read this page. And here is what should disturb you. Your experiences, your suffering, your starvation, they write those notes. We've known for years that animals pass down more than eye color. In one disturbing experiment, scientists conditioned rats to fear the scent of cherry blossoms. No pain, just the smell, paired with dread. Their children, who had never once encountered the scent, panicked when they smelled it. The grandchildren, same blind terror. But it goes further. In plants, organisms with no brain, no nervous system, scientists at the Salk Institute showed that a tobacco plant exposed to stress passes a warning to its offspring, making them more fortified. If something without a mind can remember danger, what horrors has your body been recording without telling you? So how do we know these invisible notes contain actual memories? In October 2025, a team at EPFL published a study in Nature Genetics that changed everything we thought we knew. They identified the exact brain cells, called engrams, where a specific fearful memory is stored in a mouse. Then they used a molecular tool to manipulate a single gene called ARC. What they found is haunting. They could erase a memory by adding one epigenetic tag, and when they removed it, the fear came flooding back like it had been hiding in the walls. This was the first time science proved that a single memory has a specific, editable chemical signature. It's not a metaphor anymore. The memory is physically inscribed into the molecular surface of your cells. Here's where it gets personal. In 2013, researchers at Emory University ran the cherry blossom experiment on mice. But by 2025, we finally understood the mechanism. The scent of fear actually restructured the father mouse's sperm. The sperm carried a molecular fingerprint of that specific smell. The offspring were born with more scent receptors for that flower. They were biologically engineered to detect the thing their father feared before they ever encountered it. Now imagine that in a human context. Your great-grandfather survives a famine. Is that why your body hoards every calorie? Your great-grandmother escapes a flood. Is that why the sound of rushing water makes your skin crawl? The biological machinery for this exists. The only question left is, how much detail did it capture? We've been wading through darkness, fear, trauma, the scars your ancestors carved into your cells without your permission. But consider this, if trauma writes itself into your biology, so does survival. So does defiance. So does joy. New studies are examining the children of people who didn't just endure catastrophe, they conquered it, and they're finding epigenetic markers linked to lower stress hormones and faster recovery from hardship. Your ancestors weren't just victims of their era, they were the ones who made it out. They solved the unsolvable. They refused to die, and that ferocity, that ruthless will to live, may be the loudest signal buried in your genetic noise. You are the descendant of people who won. Start acting like it.